Okay, guys. I'm going to start. It's like a mini series. This first section in this mini series, I'm going to talk about angels and their normal bodies. Uh, I have a lot more to go into, but I've realized that it is a little too dense and a little too long to do in a YouTube video. So I'm going to cut this up into ideas. And this is from a blog post I did in 2009 when I had a blog where people could actually interact with me. So I want to go through why angels, or the fact that angels have tangible bodies, physical, tangible bodies. And actually, this first part is not going to even touch on Genesis 6. This is going to be other evidence. Genesis 6 and all that other stuff is going to come in a later video. So, the first evidence is Genesis 18, 1 through 8. And it says the Lord came by and stood in the tent, and Abraham and Sarah made food for them. And in verse 8, it says that they ate. So this angelic being, or the Lord, ate. The next one is the story of Sodom. And most of you know the story of Sodom. I probably don't need to rehash it. But basically, these angels came, and the townsfolk were sexually the males of the town were sexually attracted to the two angels and stood around Lot's house, and instead of giving them as a guest, offered his daughter up instead to the horde. So it's obvious that they were sexually attracted to these angels, so they looked normal in their in their opinion, but they weren't normal because in verse 11 they struck all the people with blindness and walked right out in the midst of them. So they did have angelic abilities, and they weren't just humans. So we know they're angels. And then the story of Jacob wrestling with Elohim. The word is Elohim. And we're going to get into that word. So it could be God or could be angels. And I'm going to explain why it could be God and it could be angels later. But basically the idea is I'm talking about angels having physical bodies. Now Jacob wrestled with this. It started with a man wrestled with him until the break of day. And then it says, later your name shall be called Israel, for you have wrestled with, the word is Elohim, and with men have prevailed. So obviously he was tangible and physical enough to wrestle with. And Jacob didn't see anything odd, or he probably would have been wrestling with them. Because when they're revealed as angels, they generally worship. All right. Judges 6:11 through 21. This has an interesting one that I wanted to touch on. And it says the angel of the Lord came under the terebinth tree, and Gideon talks with him and promises him and gives him broth, and so there's two different usages of the word Lord in here. Verse 13, it's the Hebrew word adoni that's used for of man. And then in verse 15, it uses the word adonai that's used of God. So He obviously looked like a man and was angelic, or the Lord. So, the last one I want to touch on is very simple. Hebrews 13:2. Do not forget to entertain strangers, for by doing so, some has unwittingly entertained angels. This would not be possible if they were just asexual bodies, because somebody that is, different in that way would be noticed. So these were clear. They aren't clearly angelic. They're normal looking people. So it's possible to entertain angels without knowing it because they look very normal. So basically, that's the thought I wanted to deal with is the fact that angels can have very normal bodies, and next I'll talk about the sexual aspect of angelic beings, the fact that they are able to procreate, and that will be next, and then we'll go from there. Because I had a viewpoint that I held, and I thought it was fairly simple, and tried to explain it to people, and nobody understood it. So I want to go take things step by step and go for uh, explain things, explain all sorts of different things. I want to explain how angels have normal bodies, and I'll continue on from there. Thank you very much, guys, and like and subscribe.